team from Doha for consultations, following Hamas's latest response to a proposed 60-day ceasefire in Gaza. In a statement Thursday, the Israeli Prime Minister's office said the team would return to Israel to review Hamas's reply, while expressing appreciation for the mediation efforts by Qatar, Egypt, and U.S. Envoy Steve Witkoff. Earlier in the day, Hamas confirmed it had submitted a new response to ceasefire mediators. According to an Israeli source, the reply appears to allow for continued talks, though key differences remain. The negotiation team is now closely examining those gaps. Meanwhile, Israel's Minister for Strategic Affairs, Ron Dermer, is expected to meet U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff later today in Sardinia, Italy, as efforts continue to reach a breakthrough in the long-stalled truce talks. Now we are joined by Yossi Cooper-Vosser. He's an Israeli intelligence and security expert joining us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you, Yossi, for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, given the involvement of Qatar, Egypt, and the U.S. in mediating these ceasefire talks, how do you assess the role of third-party actors in this conflict? Yossi?
Yes.
Yossi, I was asking that given the involvement of Qatar, Egypt, and the U.S. in mediating the ceasefire talks, how do you assess the role of third-party actors in this conflict?
Well, third-party actors have a great role in this conflict because they have to make it possible to reach an agreement between us and Hamas on the fate of Gaza Strip and on the fate of the hostages that are still held by Hamas. And unfortunately, what we see until now is that they don't use enough power vis-a-vis Hamas in order to bring Hamas to the difficult decision that they have to take. And Hamas still plays around with them and with us. It doesn't propose something that can be used as a basis for reaching an agreement. That's where we stand right now, because Hamas still believes that it can force upon us the end of the war, not only a ceasefire, but the end of the war on their conditions, and this is not going to happen.
Are these mediation efforts likely to succeed, according to you?
Eventually, yes, but not only because they are going to exert more pressure, but more effort, but because we are going to put more pressure on Hamas ourselves, and we are augmenting our pressure over Hamas every day, and we charge them with heavy prices for the continuation of the war, and we are trying very hard to detach their connection with the population in certain parts of Gaza, especially in the south. And this is something that Hamas has to feel, that prolonging the war has a price for them, and that together with the pressure from the mediators is probably going to bear some fruits, but not immediately. It's going to take time. It's already 21 months that we are fighting, and Hamas is not yet defeated, doesn't feel that it's defeated, and because of that, is not ready to make the necessary concessions.
And Yossi, with Israel recalling its negotiating team from Doha, what is the strategy behind this move by Israel?
Well, this is twofold. On the one hand, it is a message to Hamas that we are upset with their attitude and their response to the mediators' proposals. And on the other hand, it's necessary for us to have better connection with the team to make sure that if we are finally going to have an opportunity to enter to the final stages of these negotiations, the details are going to be well understood both by the government and those who are really in charge of the negotiations, and the team that is sitting in Doha and dealing with the details. So it's we gain both messages and coordination that we need. We have to understand the minister that is responsible for that effort is on his way to meet the American envoy Witkoff and other dignitaries in France and in Italy. So there is a need for him to listen, to be able to hear the situation on the ground from the people directly, not through communications.
Yossi, we'll come back to you. Thank you for sharing that. For next